Hey folks, Buzz here, welcome back to another Poem Master video, and today let's talk a bit about the time trial event. So, the time trial event's this new event that came out, and basically the gist of it is beat the stage as fast as you can, right? Faster you beat it, the better, although, you know, there's no need to go under a certain limit, right? So, there's basically, there's two of these. One is like a practice match, and then one is like the actual one. The actual one, you can only attempt 3 times per day, right? And then you get points out of these. And then the practice round, you could do unlimited times per day. It doesn't cost you anything, right? And then if you do, you don't really get any rewards from this except for like a medal, right? If you do beat this stage under like 2 minutes, you can get a 4-star Nate medal, which I think I've already collected. Yeah, no, didn't want to copy my ID. I'll show you guys the medal, I guess. It's the Nate one. Should be at the bottom. Or not. Where's the Nate one? Rip Nate. Or did I just miss him? Oh, looks like I didn't collect it then. Yeah. But yeah, you do get the Nate medal, right? And the last one, if you want the last one, you have to beat the practice round. Well, it doesn't have to be the practice round, right? Anyways, it's either one, either round 3 or the practice round under 2 minutes, and then you get all these Nate medals, which is cool. So you're staying with the Nate medal stuff, right? So these aren't exactly hard to beat, right? The stages, however, it is hard to get it under, you know, a certain time. Well, okay, to be fair, like, this one isn't really that hard, the practice round, to get it under 2 minutes, because for the practice round, you get to use whatever units you want, right? You don't have to, like, use the flying type units, because, you know, again, you're not getting any rewards with this. You could beat this with, like, any unit, and then, or as long as it's under 2 minutes, you know, it's you get the medal, right? You can use blue, you can still use blue, you can still use Nate. I mean, they're still good here, because they do get that extra, you know, strength buff, right? Nate gets 2 times all the stats except for HP. Rose gets 1.3 times. Blue gets 1.2 times. These guys get 1.1 times. But you don't have to use them, right? You can still use, you know, run some hyper offensive, you know, Blaine, Hilbert, Singsu Red, Haymaker, Solar Flare 5 Sync Nuke build, right? That should clear this one relatively easily as well, right? Something like that. But yeah, this one, you know, generally not that many. I mean, it is, I would say it's probably, you know, it's not super easy to beat this under 2 minutes with like completely free to play team. Like, and like by completely free to play, I mean, like, you know, not even like Kahili or Winona, right? Not that they help that much. They definitely help, but yeah, at least I don't know. But you know, as long as you have like 1 blue or you know, some decent strikers, should be fine for this one. And that does kind of sort of bring us to like the issue, right, that I do want to talk about a bit, right? So for this stage over here, right, this is the one where you get like the rewards, right? You get a certain amount of points, and then you get a certain amount of rewards, right? And then, you know, every day at reset, you do get like the attempts resetted. There's 18 days total. You have 3 attempts per day, right? And then you get, again, certain amounts of rewards once you reach certain stages of these. And then the amount of points depend on a few factors. First of all, how long did it take you to beat it, right? There's different tiers for how long it takes, right? And the fastest is under 3 minutes and 30 seconds. That gives you an S tier. The second fastest is under 4 minutes. That gives you A or A grade, whatever. And then the third one is under 5 minutes. You get a B grade. And then under 5 minutes or longer, you get a C grade, right? And then the different grades associate a different score with you. And then on top of that, you also get boosts for your points, right? For using certain sync pairs give you boosts for the points, right? Nate gives you the most, gives you extra 100%. Rosa gives you, or Santa gives you an extra 70%. Blue gives you an extra 50%, and then these three give you an extra 20%. And yeah, so that's basically the gist of how it works, right? So in terms of if you want to get more, higher scores, obviously you would want to use these pairs, right? Nate's the best one for it. Then Rosanta, then Blue, then those three, and then it's the ones that aren't on here at all, right? They give you just 1 times the score. They don't give you any boost, right? You can still use them, they just don't give you any boost, which you generally would want the as many boosts as possible to get the rewards, right? As many rewards as we can. So here's the first thing I do want to talk about straight off the bat. Not everyone's gonna get all the rewards. Not everyone's gonna get all the rewards, especially if you're newer, right? If you're new, if you're a bit newer to the game, you won't be getting all the rewards. Just for the simple fact that if you don't have either Blue, Rosanta, or Nate, if you don't have one of these, you actually don't have you just don't have enough points to get the final reward. So even if you are running, say, and these two aren't free to play either, but they're relatively easy to get, I guess. But let's say you're running Skyla, Kahili, and Winona, right? You're running these three, and you get S rank every time, which is actually relatively difficult, right? If you're running those three, you can get, it's not impossible to get S rank under 3.5 minutes with those three. It is very hard though. It is definitely very, very hard because, and it's mainly because there's a lot of luck involved, because you have to like land certain amounts of flinches with Winona, right? So you could hold it under 3.5 minutes, right? Because the big thing over here and why flinch helps is because when the opponent uses moves, right, attacking moves especially, they have like moves like Struggle Bug, No Quarter, Bullet Seed, which has relatively long animation time, but when you flinch them, they skip that. They just use stat boosting moves, which has a much shorter animation time, right? So you could definitely beat and get S rank with those three units. Again, it is difficult. It is difficult. You do need a lot of luck, but it's possible. However, here's where the sad part, I guess, comes in, which is that even if you do that, if you get like, if you're just playing stage 3 every single day, all 3 attempts, right? Use those 3, and then you get S rank every single time, which again is really hard to begin with, right? But let's just assume you get that, right? You still don't have enough to pick up all the rewards. Granted, you get enough to pick up most of the relevant rewards, right? Or like the good rewards. Like the only one that you can't get, you get, again, if you do it every single day with all the best conditions, you can only get up to like 95k points. So you get all the way up to like this 200 gems. So you're missing out on 10 power-up tickets, which is half a power-up converts to, right? So if you don't have Blue, if you don't have Nate, if you don't have Delbird, that's the issue over there, right? Which is, again, you can't get everything, which again, not the biggest deal in the world, but it definitely sucks, right? It definitely sucks. So that is one thing that I do want to talk about. So in terms of your options, okay, but if you at least have one of either Blue, Nate, or Rosanta, this is, you easily get the max rewards here, right? But yeah, you just need one of these, and that kind of sucks because all 3 of these are Gacha exclusive units, right? Which is why I'm not a huge fan of this this method. Like, I thought it would be much better if it was like, if we extended the event for 1 day longer, then if you only use these 3, then you'll have enough to get all the rewards. Which again, the last one is not that great, but it's still something, right? It's still something. And I don't know, I just thought it would have been better. Or if we got like, a larger pool of units to use. I get it, it's flying, we don't have that many flying types in the game, right? But if they gave us a larger pool to use, so it's not just these 3, and like, Rosanta is limited, right? She's limited from last year. Not a lot of people have Rosanta. She is coming back soon though, so there's that. Maybe, pick her up a few days later when her banner drops. then sure, you get some boosts once her thing drops, right? Nate is new. Blue, definitely okay, it's old, right? Blue's very, very old. Been playing from the start. Chances are more than likely you would have at least one copy of blue, and one copy of blue is enough, right? But it's just mainly for those who just started recently, that just really can't get this, right? Which is kind of unfortunate, which really is kind of unfortunate. But anyways, sorry about my rant on this event, right? Like, the stage is fun, all that stuff. It's a fun battle. It's just that, you know, not a fan of how they work this, right? And that's another reason why I don't want, like, PvP in this game. You know what? I'm not going to get into another rant about PvP right now. But anyways, let's focus back to the event, right? So, in terms of, you know, achieving, I guess, sort of, you know, the best that you can over here, right? There are some ways to do it. You could definitely beat it with this team, right? Blue with Swanna and Kahili, or you could swap out Kahili with Winona if you don't have Kahili, right? Which it doesn't really matter which one you have of those two. Winona does have a chance to flinch, so that's nice. Kahili does a bit more damage. So that's basically the pros and cons there. My blue's 5/5. 1 out of 5 blue works. 1 out of 5 blue could beat this as well. You just have to, you know, make sure you buff him, you know, up to a certain amount. And it would be really nice if you pick up the MP refresh first metal later on the sync grid, so you could, you know, get the MP refresh on the sync grid, right? So yeah, there's that. Again, if you have Nate, this, you know, it's really easy clear, right? You really need me telling me anything, because the one thing that Nate is actually, like, Nate is just really, really good for this event, because if you're bringing Nate and if you don't have Blue or Rosanta, right, what you could do with Nate is Nate just easily gets +3 crit and +3 physical attack over, or not +3, +6 physical attack, so you don't really need other supports. Blue, you do have to hope you get an MP refresh on your take flight, but not take flight, what was it called against metal later. But thankfully you do get the MP refreshes at 1 out of 5, so that's definitely helpful. So I did a run with this team. If you guys want to check it out earlier on, it wasn't that great of a run, honestly. Did do a few mistakes. So you know what? Let's go into practice round and we'll talk about it while we're in there, right? Just in terms of, you know, some things to look out for, all that stuff. Again, you know, in the practice round, you don't have to use these units, right? You can use your whatever, right? You can use your Reds, your Stevens, all that stuff. So a few things, I guess, to sort of look out for. Number one is don't do what I just did. Queue up, take flight a bit quicker than that, right? So a few suggestions for me, or, you know, for me personally, just take out Scolipede as soon as possible, because Scolipede, right? If you didn't make the same mistake that I just did over there, right? You should easily be able to take out Scolipede before Scolipede even uses a move. So that saves you, you know, that saves you some time, and also it's, you know, not as annoying, because Scolipede does, Scolipede starts out with a struggle bug, which first of all lowers your special attack, right? And second of all has a long animation time. So you could deal with that, right? That would be nice. And then I'd probably honestly just focus on Livani afterwards, just because Livani does have a pretty annoying, it's not like that annoying, but it does have a light screen afterwards, right? Later. Which is, again, pretty annoying. So maybe take out Livani afterwards, and then, you know, go for Vileplume, right? Something like that. But yeah, it's not, yes, the light screen, there you go. Those are really the only big things that I do want, you know, just want to caution folks to kind of look out for. Another one is, well, Dazzling Gleam also has a very, very long animation time, which is pretty annoying. But the other one is actually Bullet Seed No Quarter. Let's see if Vileplume's going to use this. Over here. Fell Stinger's kind of whatever. Honestly, like, most of Livani's moves really don't have that much of a, you know, animation time. It's mainly both Scolipede and Vileplume's move that give you longer animation times, which is the main villain over here, right? You know what? I guess Vileplume's not going to do it. But yeah, guys, you'll see in your own runs. Vileplume does use a no quarter bullet seed. I think Scolipede also does like some no quarter move as well. So that's like the main issue here. Just, you know, some things that you should probably look out for. Vileplume does eventually go for that regen as well, so there's also that. Again, flinching the opponent helps, putting them to sleep helps, right? It's not that, oh, you're not going to take any damage, which that is good, however, but your main goal with that is to stop the opponents from using attacks that use up more time, right? Offensive attacks that do damage just in general have like longer animation time, right? Much longer animation time than attacks that don't. Just, you know, attacks that have stat boost, right? Again, there really isn't like a you know, one size fit all, right? Because again, it really depends on what units you have, right? You know, a lot of people don't have blue, a lot of people don't have whatever, right? But yeah, I'm just talking about some general strategies that you should, you know, probably deploy in trying to beat all this stuff, right? Again, one very effective one that I've heard, if you guys do have red, right? You know, Haymaker, Solar Flare 5, red, with both Blaine and Hilbert. Doesn't have to be Hilbert, I guess. Just something that gives you speed and attack, right? That would be helpful there. And then, you know, red Sync Nuke does a lot of damage. That should be good for the time, you know, for the practice round. And then again, Road to Victory mainly is you gotta use blue. If you don't, or blue or Nate or Rosanta, right? For the points, which again, personally not a huge fan of, right? But yeah, it is what it is. Good luck, folks, I guess. Yeah. You do need a bit of luck, especially if you don't have either blue or Nate, right? Or Rosanta, because you do need to land like a few flinches to make the opponent's animation time much slower, where you could get the opportunity to attack them, right? So anyways, that's me with this one, I guess. Hope you guys enjoy. Let me guys in the comments down below. Like and enjoy this video on our channel for some more Bone Masters content. I'll see you guys in the next one.